The red light blinked again inside the control room. LT Aaron. Cross opened one eye and stared at the ceiling above him. Smoke was rising from the wires. The glass of the main screen was cracked. He pulled himself up slowly and coughed hard blood. Touched his lip. The ship was falling. Outside the window was a dark sky with no stars. Only clouds, thick, angry, moving fast. He pushed buttons. Nothing responded. The screen flashed one word again and again. Warning, system failure, critical dim. He grabbed the radio. This is LT Aaron Cross from the Terra 1 scout ship calling base. Mayday, repeat mayday. But no voice replied, only static, only silence. His hand reached for the emergency map. It showed nothing, no known planet, no name, just a small glowing dot under the ship's current location. That dot was getting bigger and bigger. He looked outside there. It was a planet covered in forest, fog, and something else he could not name. The ship broke through the clouds. Wind roared like a beast. Metal screamed. The right wing was on fire. Pieces started falling from the ship. He closed his eyes for a second and whispered, "Please, not like this." The ground rushed up fast. He pulled the final lever. Eject system activated. The chair launched. The ship exploded behind him. Everything went white, then darkness. He woke up to cold air on his face. The sky above was purple. The trees around him were tall, and black birds he had never seen were flying above. Their cries echoed like sirens. His suit was torn. His left leg hurt badly. He tried to move, but pain shot through him. He lay still for a moment and breathed slowly. Then he felt it, eyes on him, not human. He turned his head to the side. There in the shadows, something moved, tall, thin, with glowing blue eyes. He reached for his sidearm, but it was gone. The creature stepped forward. It was a female, not human, but not fully beast either. Her skin was dark like steel, arms strong. Eyes locked onto him without blinking. She tilted her head slowly and spoke in a low voice, "You are hurt." He didn't reply. She took one step closer. He flinched. She raised one hand in the air. "I will not harm you, but you are mine now." Aaron frowned when she came closer. "I saw you fall from the sky. I pulled you from the fire. I cleaned your wounds, and that I felt it." Felt what? She looked at him. "The nesting instinct you triggered. I've tried to sit up." "What does that mean?" She crouched beside him, her face close. "It means you are under my care now. You cannot leave." He stared at her. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with something else, possession. "Like a lion guarding its cub," he whispered. "I just want to go home." She looked at the sky. "No one comes here. No one leaves." He looked around. Forest in all directions. No tech, no RADIO, no sign of his ship. He sat back slowly, breathing heavy. This was bad. Very bad. The alien female stood again and walked in a slow circle around him. She was watching every move, like a predator, or maybe something worse, something that thought it was protecting its own. Then she stopped behind him and placed something beside him. A bowl with fruit and cooked meat. She spoke again. "Eat, you will need strength. This world is not kind." He didn't touch the food. He kept staring at her, trying to understand. She knelt beside him again. "Close, too close," he said. "What's your name?" She blinked once, then said Vera. Aaron nodded. "I'm Aaron." She smiled soft. Stranger, and closed his eyes for a second. This can't be happening. When he opened them, she was still watching. He asked, "Why me?" Her answer was quiet. "Because you fell, because I caught you. Because now you are mine." She stood again and walked into the forest. Aaron sat alone. The sounds of the wild around him, and one thought in his mind: I need to get off this planet. But something deep inside told him that was not going to be easy, not with her nearby, not with those eyes watching, waiting. Aaron was dreaming again. He was falling through clouds, through stars, through fire. But this time someone was catching him. Opened his eyes. He was no longer in the forest. He was inside a cave. The walls were smooth, shiny, like crystal. Blue light danced on the ceiling. A strange fire burned in the corner, but there was no smoke and no heat. He sat up slowly. His leg was wrapped in soft leaves, tied with glowing thread, not rope, not cloth, something alive, moving gently, breathing. He looked around. His gear was gone. No weapon, no scanner, no tracker, but the food was still there, fresh, clean, organized. Then he heard her voice again. From the shadows you moved. Aaron turned his head. There she was, Vera, the alien with the sharp eyes and steady hands. She stepped into the blue light. Her body shimmered like armor, but her voice was calm, almost warm. I told you, you need rest. Aaron stared at her. You brought me here. Yes, you were cold. Rain was coming. The forest at night is full of death. She walked closer, her hands behind her back, but her posture was not hostile. It was something else strange, protective. Aaron kept his voice low. What do you want from Mesh? Tilted her head again, like she did before, as if studying him, trying to see more than his words. I already told you. You activated my instinct. Aaron narrowed his eyes. That nesting thing. Yes, our species, we do not bond like humans. We do not marry. We do not love for emotion. We love for instinct. Aaron tried to stand. She moved fast, one hand on his shoulder. Strong, too strong. You will tear the healing. He froze. She removed her hand. Look down. Sorry. Aaron leaned back against the wall. So what happens now? You build a nest around me, and I stay your pet. She blinked slowly. Not pet, protected, chosen. He laughed once, low and dry. I didn't choose anything. She said nothing, only watched. Then she reached beside her and held something out, a small glowing stone. Your signal device. I know what it does. Aaron stared at it, heart thudding. His emergency beacon. She spoke softly. I did not destroy it. I left it near the fire, but I saw the light, the pulse, the message it sent. You saw it? Yes. Aaron waited, but she did not attack. She did not grab him. She just stood there, stone in hand. Why didn't you stop it? She looked at the fire. Because part of me wants you to leave. Aaron's eyes widened. She turned to him again. But the other part, the stronger part, wants you to stay. He did not speak. He could not. Vera sat down near the fire. She pulled something from her belt, a round object. Clicked it open. Inside was a small sculpture. Two figures, one large, one small, together in a shell. This is what we do. She said, we protect what falls into our care, even if it wants to fly again. Aaron looked at her hands. She was holding the sculpture gently. Almost with sadness he whispered, so I'm stuck here. She did not reply, but her silence said everything. Aaron leaned his head back, closed his eyes, thought of home, of stars, of his crew. Then he thought of her, of the way she fought the wild, of the way she stayed awake while he slept, of the way she said, you are mine, like it was not a threat, but a promise. He opened his eyes again. She was still watching him, but not with hunger, not with anger, with something else. He finally asked, what happens if I try to leave? She stood slowly, walked toward the cave entrance, and said one sentence without turning back. Then you will break something inside me, something I cannot repair. She walked into the night. Aaron was alone again, but this time he felt the weight of her words, heavy, real, and somewhere deep inside, something was beginning to shift. The nest was warm, too warm. Aaron opened his eyes slowly. He was surrounded by soft leaves, soft feathers, soft light. The floor was made of woven vines, tightly packed, curved upward like a cradle. Everything smelled like wild honey and smoke. He sat up fast. He was inside something, not a room, not a cave, a structure circular, built into the side of a tree that touched the sky. He stepped out of the nest. The floor creaked gently below him, 1,000 feet of air, no walls, just vines, just height, and the sound of the wind singing through the leaves. He felt dizzy. He held a branch to steady himself. Then he heard her voice. You are awake early. Vera was sitting nearby, sharpening a blade, her back to him, her armor half open, revealing the lines of her body. Strong, built for survival, built for war. He didn't speak at first. He just stared at the structure around him. This place, this tree, home, this nest. It was alive, glowing slightly, pulsing like it had a heartbeat. Did you build this? She nodded once. I started last night, finished at sunrise. Aaron looked at the walls, all made of forest materials, placed with care, braided with skill. It looked like it took weeks. You did all this in one night. She turned toward him. Nesting instinct makes us move fast. Walked away from the nest edge, looked around for anything mechanical, anything human. Nothing, just her in the forest. I'm not staying. She stood tall, calm, but her voice was low now. You already stayed. Aaron shook his head. You don't get to decide that. She Step forward slowly. I do not control you, but I will protect you. Even if you hate me, for I have clenched his jaw. What if I jump right now? She looked down over the edge. If you fall, I will catch you again. Silence hung between them. Then a strange sound echoed through the trees, a deep call, not human, not animal. Aaron froze. What was that? Vera turned to the trees. Something has entered the forest. Aaron stepped back. Is it one of yours? She didn't answer right away. Her eyes narrowed. No, not mine. She walked to the edge, looked far into the green fog below her. Aaron followed slowly. What is it? She said nothing. Then she whispered, your signal. Aaron felt his stomach twist. I didn't know who would hear it. She nodded. Neither did I. She reached for a long spear attached to the wall. Stay inside. Do not leave the nest. Aaron grabbed her arm. Wait, what is coming? She looked at him, her voice now sharp. Soft things that fall from the sky are always hunted. She jumped down, disappearing into the green below. Hours passed. Aaron paced in circles. The nest was beautiful, peaceful, but it felt like a prison. He needed a plan. He needed a ship. He needed to find the beacon. He crawled to the edge, looked down. Too far to jump, too far to climb. Then he saw something on the forest floor. Something moving, large, fast. Not Vera. Something metallic. Ship fragment. He stared hard. Could that be his beacon? He stepped back into the nest, looked around, found a vine bundle near the edge rope. He tied it tight, looped it around a branch, and began to climb down slowly, one step at a time. The forest got louder. The wind whispered secrets. Branches shook above. Halfway down, he heard breathing. Not his. He looked to the left. A shadow was watching him. Not very. It had armor, but not like hers. Red light on the chest, sharp helmet, unknown symbol. It turned its head toward him, eyes glowing white. Aaron froze. The creature raised its weapon, a silent blast. The vine cut in half. A ring fell. Branches broke. Leaves exploded. Pain in his shoulder, then ground hard. Cold, real. His breath left his body. He blinked. The shadow stepped forward, closer. Aaron reached for a stick, pointless, weak. Still he raised it. The figure laughed once, low and cruel. Then a spear flew through the air, straight into the shadow's chest. It screamed. Metal tore. Sparks flew. Vera landed beside Aaron like thunder, like fury. Her voice was fire. You left the nest. Aaron coughed. I was trying to find a way out. She lifted him onto her shoulder, blood on her arm, smoke in her eyes. You nearly found death. Instead they vanished into the trees again, leaving only silence behind. But above them, unseen, others had also seen the beacon, and they were coming. Asterisk. The sky was not supposed to bleed, but now it did. Aaron looked up through the trees. Red streaks were cutting through the clouds, like fire being pulled by invisible hands. Like something ancient had woken up in the sky. Vera stood beside him, her armor now darker, her eyes steady, but her breath was deep. They are here, she said. They followed your signal. They are not kind. Aaron felt his throat tighten. Who are they? Vera did not blink. My enemies long before you came. Now they come for you. Aaron stepped back. Why would they want me? I am just a human. Crashing was not a message. It was an accident. Vera looked at him like he was wrong. So wrong it hurt to hear. You carry something they cannot create. You carry choice. You carry freedom. And that threatens them. Aaron didn't understand fully. But the wind had changed. The air smelled of burnt metal. The ground began to shake. A deep hum vibrated through the trees. Then a sound like winds, not birds, not machines, something in between. Aaron grabbed her arm. Are we running? Are we fighting? Vera closed her eyes for one breath, then opened them with fire inside. We do both. They ran through the forest. Roots clawed at their feet. Branches snapped under Vera's strength. Aaron tried to keep up, but his shoulders still burned. His breath came in sharp cuts. Behind them shadows moved. Not just one, not just two more. They were hunters, tall, armored, cold. No words, only signals. Sharp red lights blinked from their helmets. One raised a weapon, fired into the trees. Explosions chased them through the fog. Vera grabbed Aaron's waist, lifted him like he was weightless, leapt across a river of black stone. They landed near a fallen structure, half-buried, old, covered in moss. This place was mine once, she said before they came. Aaron looked at the walls. He saw markings like her armor, like her skin. This was her home before everything. Changed, she placed him down. Stay here, do not move. Then she vanished into the trees again. Aaron leaned against the wall. The humming was louder now. The hunters were getting close. He spotted a broken console, metal and wires, one piece still glowing. Faint green, he touched it. It buzzed under his fingers. The interface flashed language unknown, but symbols began to shift. One symbol repeated again and again. Nest, nest, nest. He backed away slowly. Then he heard the footsteps, sharp, heavy, getting louder. Get better. He turned around. A hunter stood at the doorway. It was not like the others. Its armor was gold. Its eyes were not lights. They were silver, like mirrors, reflecting Aaron's fear back at him. It stepped forward, lifted its hand, opened its palm inside. A small beacon, his beacon. A message still blinking, still calling. Aaron stared. The hunter tilted its head. Then it spoke. Voice smooth, artificial, but cold as ice. You are the human. The one she chose. Aaron's jaw tightened. Who are you? Hunter moved closer. I am what she ran from. I am what she failed to destroy. And now you belong to me. Aaron reached for a piece of broken pipe, raised it like a sword. The hunter laughed. You think she protects you. She cages you. You think she loves. She obeys instinct. Aaron shouted. She saved my life. The hunter's voice turned sharp. Then she will die for I've lifted his weapon. A flash of light burst from the side. Vera slammed into the hunter like thunder. Metal cracked. Sparks flew. The two fell into the dirt. Aaron stood frozen. The fight was fast, too fast. Vera was wounded, her shoulder bleeding silver. The hunter stood again, unaffected, stronger. Vera whispered, run, but Aaron didn't move. The hunter raised its blade again. Then a new sound filled the air, louder than the rest. A ship from above, breaking through the red sky, covered in fire. Not theirs, not Vera's. A human ship. It was responding to the signal, but it was too high, too far. No one knew who was inside. Hunter turned toward the light, then back at Aaron. It spoke again, low, final. Now you will have to choose her or your kind. Aaron could not feel his hands, not from cold, but from pressure, from the silence that held him like chains. He was no longer in the forest, no longer in the nest. He was inside a room of steel. The walls breathed not air, but light, pale and sickly. A cage built for something rare, something they did not understand. Him. He sat in the center, wrists unchained, feet untouched. But he knew this was not kindness. This was study. They wanted to see what he would do. Without Vera, without hope. A door hissed open. Behind him, the golden armored hunter entered, no weapons in hand, only questions in his eyes. You are quiet, it said. Humans are not known for silence. Aaron didn't speak. The hunter circled him, slow, like a storm deciding where to strike. You think she will come for you. You think she will fight for you. You do not understand what you are. Aaron raised his head. Then tell me. The hunter paused. You are a test, a matchstick thrown into a vault of old dust. She burned the moment she touched you. Aaron stood now face to face. You don't know her. The hunter stepped back. You are wrong. I knew her before instinct, before loyalty, before she buried her name for the sake of a nest. Aaron blinked. What do you mean? The hunter leaned in. She was one of us. Before she chose you, before she broke her code, before she became exile. Aaron staggered back. No. Yes. The lights around them pulsed brighter. She burned cities for her kind. She buried tribes under ice, and then she saw you and turned everything off inside her. Aaron felt the ground shift beneath him. His memories twisted. Vera's eyes, her strength, her silence, all made sense now. She wasn't born to protect. She was built to destroy, and now she protects me, he whispered. The hunter nodded. And that makes you more dangerous than her. And clenched his fists. So what now? You kill me, you break the bond. The hunter looked toward the door. No, we use you later. They brought him to another room, this one full of glass. Behind it, figures moved, watching, analyzing. One of them spoke through the wall. We have studied the bond. We believe it is not one-sided. We believe you feel something too. Aaron looked away. They continued. That connection, it changes her, but it also changes you. Aaron stayed quiet. Then a new screen came on. Vera Locked, bleeding, breathing slow, she looked up, saw him, said nothing, but her eyes spoke everything. Aaron stepped forward, let her go. The voice replied, "Not until you understand. Not until you become what she sees." He shouted, "What do you want from me?" They answered, "We want the weapon she sees in you, the fire she awakened, the storm you are becoming." Later they placed him in an arena, no armor, no blade, just instinct across. From him, another prisoner, alien, starving, angry. Aaron didn't want to fight, but the voice returned cold, "And sure, she's watching you fight, or she dies." Aaron looked up. Vera's face behind the glass. She didn't shout, didn't scream, just stood waiting, trusting. The creature lunged. Aaron dodged, rolled, struck, once, twice. Blood spilled, not his. Hands shook, but he was still standing. He looked at the glass. Vera's eyes burned brighter, now not fear, not pain, pride. The voice whispered again, "You feel it now. The instinct is not just hers. You are not the same human who fell from the sky." Aaron stood tall. "No, I am not that night." They moved him to a new room, larger, brighter, and left the door unlocked. You waited. Then Vera appeared, face bruised, but smiling. "You fought." He nodded. "I had to." She stepped closer. "Did you feel?" I've nodded again. "I did." She placed her hand on his chest. "Then you understand. This is not instinct anymore." Aaron whispered, "No. It's a choice now." They both turned toward the window far in the sky. The human rescue ship returned, blades of light spinning, but Aaron said nothing, and neither did Vera, because now the war was not between species, it was inside him, and the weapon was waking. Asterisk. The door was open, but freedom never felt so heavy. Aaron stood in the silence. No alarms, no guards, no traps, only air, still waiting. He stepped forward 1 foot, then the next. Each step felt like a question, each breath like a choice. Behind him, Vera followed her steps, silent, her eyes calm, but her shoulders were tight. Aaron looked at her. "You sure this is real?" She nodded once. "Not real, but real enough to run." He gave a half smile, then let it fade. They passed corridors of light, empty rooms, echoes of their own movement. No sign of hunters, no resistance. That scared him more than the fighting. This was not escape, this was permission. He whispered, "They want us to run." Vera answered without turning, "Let them." The outer wall came fast, a shield made of energy, blue and tall, shifting like water. Vera raised her arm, claws extended. She pressed into the wall. Pain rippled through her body, but she did not move. Back. The shield flickered once, then broke open like ice. Aaron stared at her hand, smoke rising, skin cracked. No sound from her mouth, only the fire in her eyes. "Let's go," she said. The forest welcomed them like a memory, old trees, cold wind, the sound of wings above. Aaron felt every branch like a heartbeat, felt the dirt, the roots, the weight of the world coming back. He looked at her again. "How far is your nest?" She paused, then said, "Gone." He stopped walking. "What? They destroyed it the moment they took you." Aaron's chest pulled tight, the place where he healed, where she watched over him, where they began. "Gone." He looked down, then reached for her hand. She looked surprised but did not pull away. He said, "Then we build another." She looked at him again, eyes soft now, not glowing, not cold. Human night came fast. They found shelter in a cave. No fire, no words, only breath. Aaron sat with his back to the wall. She sat beside him, spoke first. "You knew this might happen, didn't you?" Vera looked at the ceiling. "I knew the bond would bring danger. Then why risk it?" She turned to him. "Because I never felt peace until you crashed into my world." Aaron looked at her face. He saw no war there, now no command. Just her. He whispered, "I didn't ask for any of this." She nodded. "Neither did I, but now we are not who we were." A sound echoed in the night, soft, mechanical. They both stood fast. A light flickered through the trees, white, familiar. Aaron stepped forward, his heart frozen, his mind spinning. A human rescue drone. It hovered in place, scanning, searching. Vera stayed back, silent. Aaron walked forward 1 step, then 2. The drone recognized him, flashed green. He looked back at Vera. Her face was unreadable. He turned to the drone. Activated voice, "This is Lieutenant Aaron Cross. Send a message to command. I am alive. Coordinates locked." The drone beeped, confirmed. Aaron turned back to her. She stepped forward. "Stop, just out of reach. You can go now." She said he looked at her, and she shook her head. If I follow, they will not trust me. They will not understand. He stepped closer. You think I care what they understand? She looked down, then back at him. If you stay, you lose your world, your sky. Your people. Aaron laughed once, low, sharp. I lost all that the moment I fell, but I gained something else. She looked at him, eyes wide, soft, afraid. He stepped into her space. Close now, so close, and said, I choose you, not because of instinct, not because of survival, but because you stayed even when I broke, even when I ran. She said nothing. She didn't need to. Her hand found his again. They stood there, under stars that were not his, but no longer strange. Then the drone beeped again, louder. Faster. New signal detected. Unknown source. Approaching fast. Aaron looked at Vera. That's not human, is it? She shook her head. No, that's something older, and it knows you chose me. The stars were no longer silent. They were whispering, calling, watching above the forest. A second sky opened. Not clouds, not storm. Something else, ancient, mechanical, alive. Aaron stared upward, eyes wide, heart slow. The shape moved like a ship, but it breathed like a beast, wings made of metal and memory. It pulsed with colors he could not name. Vera stepped beside him. Her voice was lower than wind. I know what that is. Aaron looked at her. Telmesh did not blink. It is not here to speak. It is here to claim what it believes is broken. He swallowed hard. Me and you. They ran not with panic but with purpose, through forest, through fog, back to the place where everything had begun. The crash site. The bones of his ship were still there. Twisted steel, black scars on green earth, but something had changed. A glow beneath the dirt. The escape pod. Still buried, still waiting. Vera dug without speaking. Aaron helped without asking. Their hands worked like one. They found it fast. The pod was cracked, but alive. Vera stood back. You can leave now, before it sees you, before it reaches down. Aaron looked at the pod. The open door, the blinking green light, his way home. Then he looked at her. What if I stay? She breathed in. If you stay, you live with me on this world, away from your sky. Your people may never come again. He nodded. And if I leave? She looked down. Then you forget me, or worse, you remember. Silence wrapped them like vines. Then the sky shook. The old ship above them opened. A light beam fell, blinding cold inside the light. A voice, not words, not sound, a feeling. Choose now. Aaron took one step toward the pod, then stopped. He turned to Vera, the voice still humming in his bones. He said, I thought choosing would feel easy. She whispered, it never is. He touched the side of the pod, felt the cold metal, felt everything he was supposed to want. Then he turned fully toward her. You made me stronger, not with power, but with something harder. She tilted her head. What? He stepped closer, with care, with choice. The light above grew brighter, angrier. The ground shook. The ship wanted him to move, wanted obedience. Aaron raised his head toward the sky. You don't get to choose for me. The light froze, then cracked a sound like thunder. A scream of broken stars. The ancient ship above began to split. Lines of red cutting through its core. It had waited too long. Aaron turned back to Vera. Take my hand. Let's go. She looked at him like he was the sun, and took it. They ran from the light together into the forest. The ship above roared, but no longer in power, in pain, because the choice had been made, and it had not been chosen. The days passed, then weeks. No signal, no sky fire, only trees and breath. Aaron and Vera built again. Not a nest, a home together. She showed him how to hear the forest, how to speak without words, how to fight with silence. He taught her how to laugh, how to fix broken tech, how to name the stars without fear. One night, as the sky turned gold, Vera asked, do you ever regret? I shook his head. Not once. She said, you gave up everything. Looked at her. No, I finally picked something real. She smiled, then leaned against him, warm, alive, and for the first time since the crash. Aaron looked at the sky, not with longing, but with peace, because sometimes the greatest adventure is not flying away, it is staying, when staying means everything.